All right, so I want to go over where is your success as a trader. You completed the master course, you completed everything, maybe you've been trading for a month, a couple years, whatever it's been. Are you going to find success in scalping? Are you going to find success in intraday moves? Are you going to look for single day moves, 100 points, 150, 200 points, whatever it's going to come to? Are you going to strictly play supply and demand? Or will you be scalping with volume, with VWAP, all the things that I've taught in the master course? Now, all these things are different variations of trading that I have personally still use. I have learned from my mentor and I've made myself. This being said, when I started trading, I went through my full master course that I got from my mentor, and I did not find any success. I was shorting when I should have went long. I was longing when I should have went short. I was holding my losers way too long, and I wasn't letting my winners ride. I'd get into the market way too soon. I'd be down $800, $900, couple $1,000 some days. It would ride all the way back up for $200 to $500, and I would take my wins. Now something like that is not sustainable. I had an amazing month, my first month. I ended up green, I think, 8 out of 12 days. It was something crazy. I made insane money. My first month finishing the master course and my first 3 months trading the S&P 500. I got way ahead of myself. I started oversizing all my positions and I started losing very bad. I remember one day I had a $6,000 day and I said, oh my God, I made it. I'm out. The next day was followed by a $14,000 loss, an $8,000 loss, and then a $9,000 loss right after that. I killed all my capital to the point where I couldn't even trade every day. Any money that I was making, I had to pay my bills. I had to take care of myself. There was points in the market that I would just watch the charts and I wasn't even able to trade because I didn't even have the capital to trade. Now, this is the worst feeling ever, knowing that 1, I quit my job to do this. 2, that I'm sitting in the market. I'm sitting there all day long watching the charts, not even making plays, or if I was making plays, I was scraping a couple $100s out of it. That brought me into FOMO, that brought me into greed, that brought me into not cutting losses because I didn't want to be wrong. And it was a whole spiral effect. And it wasn't that my technical analysis was bad. My technical analysis, honestly, has always been great. It was just my emotions, me fighting my emotions, the psychological effect of trading. So finishing this master course, I'm not promising you you're going to be profitable right after finishing it. I'm not promising you 3 months, 6 months, a year. It is all on you after that. No one can hold your hand and tell you to buy, sell, do this, do that. It has to be all you. Now, you can listen to my pre-market plans. You can trade with me, which is great. It will help you so much knowing my plans and then you executing off of them. You pressing the buy button, you pressing the sell button, you making your own analysis off of what I am doing. Now, this is absolutely key to staying in the market. You can go buy someone's signals. You buy when they buy, you sell when they sell. You can make some good money. You really can. It is very possible, but you're not trading for yourself. You're not a trader at that point. I still don't consider people who buy and sell signals off of other people's signals traders. You're just simply following. To be a trader, you make your own calls. You rely on yourself. This is a self-relying game. What happens when that guy who's making the signals decides to kick up and leave? Then you don't know how to trade. You're just going to have to find another guy who's doing it. You're going to have to pay more money. And you're going to miss out some really good things in the market because there's certain things that, these people give one signal and they're done for the day. After that, you're not going to be able to read the market. You're not going to be able to trade. You're going to take losses trying to make more money. You have to truly do this yourself. Now, the master course is going to give you a huge, huge boost. It is better. I recommend anyone, even if someone weren't even to buy my master course, my courses, anything like that, I believe everyone needs a mentor. Now, when I found my mentor personally, he had a lot of people. He had probably over 6,000, 7,000 people buy his courses. I couldn't sit there one-on-one or tell him if I had a problem, what I was looking at. He would answer days later, very brief. Now, it's not his fault. He had thousands of people to take care of. But this is why, especially at this beginning part, that I'm sitting down with everyone. I'm taking phone calls, DMs, text messages almost right away because I don't want someone to feel that they're left out. I don't want someone to feel that they got almost like scammed or that I'm just not there for them when I'm trying to be. That's why I'm devoting my personal trading 1 hour, 2 hours a day. I make my money. I hope I can make you guys money with the pre-market plans, which has been working out absolutely amazing. I get personally so excited And it makes me feel so content and happy when I see people make money off of my plans, me helping them out in the market. But that's why the other 4 or 5 hours a day, even at nighttime, the weekends, I'm constantly helping people because I want to make the process smoother for people. I wish someone would have been there for me to look at my plans, talk about certain things with me, talk about volume, because there's going to be certain questions that people have that's technically in the master course, but it doesn't apply to that trade of that day, that trade that they took in the moment. So you as a trader have to sit down, you have to master your emotions, master the psychological version of trading. It is the biggest thing. The technical analysis can take weeks, months, but the psychological effect, if you don't master it, it could take you absolutely years. And the more capital you use, the more you rely on your capital and trading, it's going to take a lot longer. It took me absolutely forever to master the psychological version of trading. That is why most of the master course is about the psychological version. It's the absolute key. You'll talk to any trader who's been in the market for a very long time. No matter what market they're trading, they always say it's psychological. So like I said, you are the absolute key to your own success. In the master course, it will help an extreme amount. It could take someone from 3 years to just a couple months, especially if you are good psychologically. If you're not using a lot of money, if you have a lot of money put to the side, maybe you have another job, anything like that, it will help an extreme amount. Now I have this chart here because I want to show, bear with me one second. I want to show the possibilities of trading. You don't need to be a specific kind of trader all the time. Now this was from the previous day. You can see long tier, failed out for break even. I caught the short here and the long back. Amazing day, one of my best days of trading. Now you don't always need to catch all these big moves. You can be a scalper, you can be a short time trader. You can take a move from here to here, no problem. Maybe you found some buying again in here. You can scalp all of this. You can even be a multi-day trader. You can take longs in here and look to take them out up here, this break of high. The big money is in these long trades. You can decide to take these long trades on one account and then scalp in the days in between on a different account. There's so many possible different ways, especially with all the ways that I teach in the master course, from supply and demand, from VWAP, using volume accordingly, using book maps. You can become that trader that trades anything. And that's what I am at this moment. That's what I'm personally focusing with myself. The way I trade now is completely different than 4 months ago. And it's completely different than a year ago, 3 years ago. I was afraid of the market. I would take 3-point scalps on ES. I would take 10 points on NQ. And for me, that wasn't sustainable. I like the bigger moves. I like catching the 100 points. I like catching the 70, 80 points down here. That is where the big money is at. That's where your risk is the littlest. You can see this is a 7.73 risk to reward. This is a 10.8. This would have been a 16.3. I can lose on all of these trades. I can lose in every single one of them. But if I make that one trade, I make it all back and then some. That's where risk to reward comes in. And I also want to touch in on risk to reward in chop and compare it to good setups real quick. If you're in this chop and your risk to reward is 5 points, let me show you right here. If you're in this and your risk to reward is 5 points, heck, even 10 points. So now you're in here and you want to take a 5-point loss and a 25-point gain. If you got in on every candle looking, saying, okay, my risk to reward is a 5, so I can lose this trade 4 times out of 5 and I'll be profitable. You're losing this trade 100% of the time almost. It is not a 5.0 risk to reward trade because you are in chop. You need to go according to volume. You need to go according to price action and inside supply and demand in key areas. If we're chopping in here, you will lose out on every single candle you try to get in because we're moving more than 5. We're moving even more than 10 points before we could even possibly get that 25-point move, that 30-point move, that 80-point move. So these are not good trades. I want to go over this. This is not a good trade unless you are looking to get in down here like I did. But if you're in this middle of this consolidation, that's not a good trade. The percentage of you making that trade like that is very low. And then you got to add the risk to reward multiplier on top of that. There will be a full video on this. I just want to get that straight. I want to put that in your head. So along with that video, most of you guys are going to be watching that video in depth before watching this. But I just want to put that again in your brain. The good trades is where your true risk to reward lays, not in this consolidation, not in this chop. You need to get volume involved. That's why I don't even trade Asia or London anymore. All of this is possible money you could be making off of these demands. 1 demand, 2, 3 demand touches, 4 demand touches, 5 at the bottom. This is all money to be made no matter which way you scalp, no matter which way you trade. You can scalp this, you can long it. You can get 600 points if you're that kind of trader. You have to decide what kind of trader you want to be. That's why, like I said, the master course has everything in it. You can be a scalper, intraday, multi-day. It doesn't matter. This master course is for everything. You have to find what you personally work good with, what you personally like. Do not be discouraged if you're losing 2-3 months in a row and say, okay, supply and demand doesn't work. Let me go to Fibonacci. Let me go to ICT. Let me learn a different strategy. You're just going to jump strategy to strategy to strategy, and you're never going to find success. You need to stick with something and learn it. This is also what I thought before. I was like, oh, maybe supply and demand doesn't work. I'm seeing all these ICT traders. I'm seeing all these volume traders. I'm seeing all these other traders making sick money. Well, there's people making sick money with supply and demand. There's no wrong way of trading. All these ways of trading are good. It's just how you represent it. It's how you trade in those ways of trading. So take whatever model you like, whatever model you think will fit you best, and truly learn it and stick with it. You can back test. You can try to add different confluences, what works for you. Like for me, everyone knows I use VX, I use leading equities, I use volume. I'll even look at the ICT traders for a fair value gap to see how the volume goes in there, if I'm going to add to that position, if I'm going to cut my position there. Active trade management is a big thing, but stick to your rules, stick to one way of trading. Learn it and master your psychological emotions, and I promise you, you will become a profitable trader. Some of you might take months, some of you might take years. But the day you quit is the day you fail. Do not forget that. There's been plenty of times I wanted to throw in the towel. Even if I'd make $3,000-$4,000 and the next day I'd lose $1,000, I'd be like, this isn't consistent. I'm not successful in it all the way. This is scary. It's very scary to lose money. It's very scary to sit somewhere all day long, put your life, your literal like tears into something and lose. I'm not ashamed to admit that I thought the world was against me. God was against me. Straight up cried on some of these losing days that I lost all of my money. Horrible things going through my head, thinking I'll never make it, thinking I was not good enough. Because in the beginning I said, I'm smarter than the average person. I'm smarter than all these people. I'm great with technical analysis. I'm great with math. But it's what you bring to the table in the morning. It's what you bring to the table from the days before. It might sound cliche, but it's literally how you live your life. Are you the type of person, yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'll do this. Do you hold yourself accountable for every bad and good thing that's happened? Because if you do so with that, trading will happen so easy. I was not holding myself accountable for the losers. I was saying the market was against me. I was saying, oh, if I only had more money, if only this, if only that. And that stuff just doesn't work. It gets in your head. You start taking horrible trades. You start basically gambling at that point. Like I said, it might sound cliche, but to get to this point, I read all the psychological books that I could possibly read, how the brain works, how we accept loss, how we accept fear, greed, the patience of everything. I went through all of this, all of the psychological effects of everything to finally find my spot, to find where I need to enter, to find how to control myself and my emotions when I'm losing and when I'm winning. This is a big factor. You might have to go through the master course 3-4 times. I'm not saying the whole thing, but even certain points where you see yourself lacking. If you're lacking in the supply and demand category, if you're lacking in the volume category, if you're lacking in the psychological category, go over it 3-4 times. There's no shame in doing that. I went through a 28-hour course 3 times from beginning to end, and then I watched multiple videos in there multiple times. And that has brought me to where I am today, where I'm teaching people, where I get these monster trades, because I hold myself accountable for pressing that buy button, the sell button, if I'm wrong and if I'm right. The market is not out to get you specifically. You just need the screen time, the mental capacity to work, and the mental stability to stay in there. After that, you are the key, which you will see in the next video. You are the absolute key to your own success. Take responsibility of every point, stick with your plan, stick with the trading style, and absolutely master your emotions in trading, outside of trading, in your daily life. And I promise you, you will become profitable to the point where every dollar you ever lost in the year, in the month, however long it's taken you to trade, you will make that back in one full day. That is always the trader's dream. That's the dream that everyone goes for, whether you have to take a position longer, whether if you have to use more contracts and more buying power, that will happen to everybody. And that's the point that you know that everything will literally be okay. That feeling of making back everything you've ever lost in one trade, your confidence from that will be the next step forward to know that you are that profitable trader. You can do it in the market. You can survive in the market, even when you have bad days, bad weeks, bad months. Whether you have to change your strategy ever so slightly because the market changes a little bit. I do not believe that the market completely changes every week, every month. Everyone says that the market completely changes. That's all bullshit. There'll be slight changes in the market that you'll start to see, either where we wick lows more, we wick highs. There's a lot of support certain months. There's a lot of short squeezes and bull traps. When you start to catch on to these things, that's when your trading strategy will ever so slightly change, and you'll start to make, again, more money. You'll understand the market better, and you can call these almost on the fly every time. So like I said, to wrap this video up, pay attention to your supply and demand zones. Pay attention to volume. It's the absolute biggest thing. Heck, even buy some books on psychological aspects and the trader's mentality. Read through them. I don't care if you have to meditate every morning. I don't care if you have to meditate every night. If you truly want to be successful in this market, you will do whatever you have to do to get there. You can call it stupid. You can call it bullshit, but I guarantee you the best traders in the world, that's what they do. I know traders who read the Bible every morning before going into work. Thank God for everything. There's traders who meditate. There's traders who don't even open up their screen. They get sun first thing in the morning. They exercise. They get their brain going, and then they hop to the screens. These little tricks and these little things to calm down the brain and really focus on anything truly do help. So if you're still having trouble after weeks, months, years, like I said, do not give up. DM me if you have any questions. If you need help with anything, I will always be there. I will be there. I'll answer whether it takes me a minute, 5 minutes, a couple hours. I'll always be able to get back to you, and we can work on things together to make you a successful trader.